From our studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee. Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. Beautiful day in the Iowa Great Lakes. I have Brett Hetland here with me today. Lakes Area Hockey Association. It's the Lakes Area Arena is home of the Boji Mammoths and Boji Blizzard Hockey. And my goodness, Brett, do you have enough to do?
I tell you what, I find myself every time we get together, when you start saying things like that, I have this perma smile on my face, and I don't know if it's just a culmination of 20 years of hard work, and the fact that we're seeing it play out in our own community now, or just the fact that you really introduce it well. I don't know, but it's an overwhelming sense of pride inside me just to hear you say that, and what a great thing for our community.
Oh my goodness, and I know, last time we talked was probably back in September there at the Ice Arena. At the time they were doing COVID testing there too, so and previous to that, it'd been like 5 years since we talked. So this is nice to catch. I just kind of wanted to, because I've had people ask me, do you know what's happening with hockey? Do you know what's happening with the open skating? And so I thought, let's get Brett in here and let's talk about all these different aspects and where we are right now from where we were in like September.
All right, well, let's just start with September. It was an interesting transition from being a COVID testing site, which worked out really good for our community, and got some exposure of our facility actually to people that may have never even noticed that we existed.
Did you get people that came in and like, when did this get here?
And another interesting point is even into October, November, when the weather was nice, I'd see people wandering around when I'd be going into the rink for practice. I'm like, can I help you, sir? Well, is this the testing site? So it had been there long enough that our community actually was used to it. But anyway, transitioning into ice, the season started out fairly normal for us.
Right.
We had just, from the Mammoth standpoint, so our high school team, we had got one game in early November, and then we had a 3-week pause.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rink was actually shut down completely, all levels and open skates and everything. And then when the governor, newest proclamation actually dated December 10th, 11th, somewhere in there, eased the restrictions a little bit with some, while having some restrictions, but it allowed us to start playing again. And the Mammoths, we took off the next day after practicing as a team once.
All right. We
went to Brookings across the border into South Dakota and played some teams that hadn't shut down yet. And it took us a while to get back up to game speed, but we got to play.
Yeah.
You're going to hear me stress that, Jeff. We're trying to teach our players, our youth, our young adults with the Mammoths that this is a year to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, perseverance, how to handle adversity.
Yep.
And again, we get to play because there's a number of other parts of our country that are still locked down.
Yeah.
And the state of hockey, which is 6-8 miles
north of us,
just reopened to practice on January 4th and just started allowing games January 15th.
Yeah.
So
I bet those kids were foaming at the mouth.
They were foaming at the mouth, and I know from our summer hockey experience, I know some of the players in the Mankato area, and just speaking with some of those guys, they are pumped, they're excited. Again, they get to play.
Yeah. And I think it's neat you're teaching the kids we get to play.
It is a challenge because one of the hardest parts for us, Jeff, and it's a little bit off subject, was during our shutdown, the high school, if you were affiliated with a high school, so wrestlers and basketball players got to continue to play.
Right.
So the biggest trouble we had was communicating to our high school players, why do they get to and we don't?
Yeah.
But again, control what we can control. So it was another way for us to teach that lesson that this is out of our control. Let's do what we can. And when we get that opportunity to play, it's going to feel like we're starting all over again. And I can tell you, when we first got the green light to get on the ice, even though we got that only one practice, it was almost like the first practice of the year.
Yeah.
Everybody realized that never take things for granted again. And the excitement and the energy on the ice that day, if we could harness it and just keep it like that all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be wonderful, but we haven't figured out how to do that yet.
And I hadn't thought of that from the aspect of what the governor had put out there. I remember there being, high school sports, but youth activities. And so you fall under those different categories. And I'm sure that's where a lot of the questions came. Can we? Can't we? What are, you know what I mean?
Right. And it was also a challenge for Lakes Area Hockey Association Board of Directors, because they're, how do we interpret this? How do we interpret that?
Yeah.
Is it high school? Is it youth? Do we close down everything? And sadly, that period of time, the rink was shut down, and we were getting a lot of phone calls leading up to mid-December when we were still closed, because we have so many people coming to the area for the holidays.
Right.
You would be surprised how many people call and say, hey, open skate times, is there open puck times? We draw people here in the wintertime in our normally quiet time, so it was nice to know that people were calling us and say, hey, can we skate?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we built this area so much on the summer season.
Right.
And over the years, it's been, how can we build these shoulder seasons? And I would even go as far as to building in the off season, because shoulder seasons can be September, maybe October, maybe a little bit of April and so forth. Yeah. But the off season, when our businesses, so many of them stay open, our lodging, they need people, that influx into the Iowa Great Lakes. And the Lakes Area Hockey Association has been a great asset to our area since it was conceived and developed.
Let me segue into that a little bit too, Jeff. That's a great point. Right before the shutdown, we just hosted a Pee Wee tournament. So there were, full motels, lots of food and beverages, all that type of thing. We had our shutdown. We did lose a squirt tournament in that period of time. But then coming out of the shutdown a couple of weeks ago, we had a mini and mite tournament, which is the highest attended tournaments, because mini mites are 6U, 6 and under.
Okay.
Mites are 8U. Well, it's the cutest thing to watch.
Yeah.
It's the little ones, right?
Yeah.
And just the atmosphere, and we had 32 teams registered.
Wow.
Now, Minnesota was still on shutdown at that point, so we did lose a few of our across the border Worthington, Wyndham's in that.
Right.
But we still brought like 27 teams into the area for that 3-day period. And there's nothing better than watching those littles out there banging into each other, falling down, getting back up. Half of them, they're over at the glass. And as a parent, you can just see the parents, oh, no, don't go play. But it's the cutest thing ever is watching that youth.
Yeah, and it's just such a great asset. Coming into the Iowa Great, I could just hear the lodging people and the dining people. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's January. Thank you.
Yes, they're like mini winter games, like we talked about years ago, even during the fundraising campaigns of, if we build it, they will come, we promise. Now it's so much fun to actually see the parking lot so full at the rink and know that those people are coming from 3+ hours away, so they're staying here for the whole weekend, and that just helps the entire community.
Yeah, and I know your parents of your players, particularly for the Blizzard, are so involved with the helping volunteer, helping things keep going and keeping track of things. I mean, they're wonderful for you as well.
And the Lakes Area Hockey Association exists and is sustainable because of volunteerism.
Yeah.
Again, we have a part-time paid Zamboni driver. Other than that, everything else is essentially volunteerism.
Yeah.
And without an army of volunteers, we wouldn't be able to put on what we do. And in addition to that is the local support in our community.
Yeah.
In fundraising processes or sponsorships. We wouldn't exist today if it wasn't for our amazing community that believes in the enhancement that we provide.
That's so much the magic of the Iowa Great Lakes.
We're lucky.
I mean, when you look at all the amenities we have here, a lot of it is due to great donors, sponsors, and certainly people who volunteer of themselves, their treasure, their talents, their time, whatever it is. They make these things happen.
There's some pretty amazing people in this community, and some of you hide behind doors, so know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on that many of us don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So where we at right now? Kids are playing and season's going on, and how about like with open skating? What are we doing?
Open skate has resumed.
Okay.
Now, in the common space, masks are required. Okay. Once they put their skates on, masks are recommended while on the ice. Now, that's a fluid situation, so as things progress in our community, we've been blessed to be in a community, too, that is a safe community, as we've shown by our percentages and everything else.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're following all those guidelines, and any updated information can be found on our website, lakesareahockey.com.
Very good.
Or our Facebook page, which will have more current information of different posting. Something new this year that we added back to is people were used to our Friday and Saturday open skates.
Right.
We did add in a Sunday open skate that's been very popular for those that maybe don't want to be out there when it's chaos.
Yeah.
Or when they don't want to be around as many people. Okay,
Right.
obviously
Yep.
right now. So Sunday afternoons typically, it can change depending upon if we're hosting games and stuff. But anytime between that 12 and 4 or 5 p.m., there will be an open skate typically on a Sunday for that as well.
Yeah, plenty of room to socially distance and
Yes.
and get some exercise, you know.
Exercise and socialize with their peer groups
Yeah.
in a safe environment and what better in a cold rink, as you are aware. Last time we were there was in September, so the chiller wasn't on, but you go in there right now, you'd have icicles on your nose while we've just been talking.
That's all right. You know what? We're Northwest Iowans. We can take that sort of thing. But you got no wind chill.
No wind chill. And let me add to, in addition to open skate, so the youth hockey is now back in full swing again.
Yep.
Our Boji Blizzard, which is our younger divisions, they play in the Minnesota District 4, which is kind of the I-90 corridor, Laverne, Wyndham, Worthington, Redwood Falls, that type of thing.
Right.
That has started back up again, which is great.
Yep.
Okay. And then the Boji Mammoths, we are back in action again, finally. We had a tournament this past weekend that was canceled. We were supposed to be in Eden Prairie.
Okay.
We are back in action in Wayzata, which is another Twin City suburb. So we will be heading up there for 3 games this weekend. And then we are home Winter Games weekend. Saturday, January 30th, we have 11:30 and 2:30 at home against Des Moines.
Okay.
So we will be asking to pack the cave. Dress warm. If you can get away for a little bit from Winter Games activities, we will be an additional Winter Game activity that day. Come on in, pack the cave, see some fast action from these young guys that have persevered through the challenge.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, and so you can attend.
You can attend, yes. The restriction when we first opened back up was 2.
Okay.
And now it's unlimited as long as we social distance, and masks are required by anybody that does attend a game.
Okay.
Okay. And hopefully that will change by the end of the season. If not, hey, we get to play, Jeff.
You get to play, and
Yes.
thank goodness you do, and thank goodness for the opportunity for these young people to learn and play and grow with a great sport, and grow the area all at the same time. It's a miracle. It's a miracle on ice. I've heard that used before somewhere.
1980, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I remember it. I'm sad to say I remember it very well. So, all right, my friend. Well, I appreciate you coming in here and talking about all the great things at our hockey association, all the hard work you and the volunteers, everybody puts to make this happen in the Iowa Great Lakes.
My pleasure.
All right, Brett Hetland's been here with us today. We want to thank him for taking time with us. And again, that website, if you want a Facebook page, you want to find out more,
LakesAreaHockey.com.
that's the one. Check it out. Great things going on here in the Iowa Great Lakes. We want to thank Brett for being here with us. And hey, we want to thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Pure Fishing in Spirit Lake, Last Touch Painting and Cleaning providing interior, exterior, house painting and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake, Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Attorney Bethany Brands at Brands Law Office in Spirit Lake. Ruthven Locker at the Lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji. The YMCA of the Okobojis is the Bedell Family YMCA, building strong families and strong communities.